You are being lied to by your own bank account. For nearly 3 years, you can do everything right. You can work 16 hours a day, sacrifice your weekends, and survive on caffeine and ambition. Yet your net worth will barely move. It feels like a glitch in the universe. But here is the terrifying truth. Most people quit exactly 90 days before the math finally flips in their favor. This is the brutal reality of the 1,000-day rule. We are going to look at why your first Crore feels mathematically impossible and the hidden Lollapalooza effect that determines whether you become a millionaire or a memory. I'm straining, sweat pouring down my face, and after an hour of maximum effort, it hasn't even completed one full rotation. To an outsider, you look like a failure. To your own brain, this feels like wasted energy. This is where 99% of people walk away. They see the lack of immediate progress and conclude that the effort isn't worth the reward. But what they don't see is that every ounce of energy is being stored. The setup for wealth isn't a ladder, it's a coiled spring. And in the world of high-stakes finance, that spring takes exactly 1,000 days to prime. But here's where it gets worse. Most people think wealth is linear, that if you work twice as hard, you get twice the money. In reality, the first Crore requires 90% of your lifetime effort, but it only represents about 10% of your lifetime wealth. Think about the first 365 days. This is the silent year. You're learning the language of money, failing at your first 3 side hustles, and watching your peers buy new cars while you reinvest every cent. This isn't just difficult, it's psychologically damaging. You feel like you're running on a treadmill in a dark room. But here is the part nobody talks about, the Lollapalooza Effect. Coined by Charlie Munger, this is what happens when multiple forces, compounding, skill acquisition, and network effects, all collide at once. For the first 2 years, these forces are working in isolation. They are weak. But around day 800, they begin to weave together. Suddenly, the skills you learned in month 6 start to amplify the connections you made in month 18. Now, this changes everything. You aren't just working for money anymore. Your systems are starting to breathe on their own. Yet, this is exactly when the valley of death hits. Between day 700 and day 900, the exhaustion is at its peak. You've been grinding for 2 years with nothing but a few lakhs to show for it. Your family thinks you're delusional. Your friends have stopped inviting you out. This is the ultimate filter. If you can't survive the silence of the second year, you will never see the explosion of the fourth. Why is the first Crore so much harder than the next 10? It's because of the friction of small numbers. When you have 10,000 rupees, a 10% return is just $1,000. It's a nice dinner. It's meaningless. You can't live off it, so you don't feel the power of compounding. But when you finally hit that first Crore, that same 10% return is 10 lakh rupees. That is a life-changing salary generated by doing absolutely nothing. The first Crore is the only one you have to build with your bare hands. Every Crore after that is built by the money itself. But here's the problem. Most people try to cheat the 1,000 days. They look for the crypto moonshot or the get-rich-quick scheme. They are trying to find a shortcut through a mountain that has no tunnels. When you try to bypass the 1,000-day rule, you don't save time. You just reset the clock. Every time you jump to a new opportunity, you start at day 1 again. You never reach the point where the Lollapalooza effect can actually take hold. This is the part where it gets truly interesting. The 1,000 days aren't just about the money in the bank. They are about the infrastructure of the self. To handle a crore of rupees, you have to become the kind of person who doesn't blow it on a depreciating asset the moment it hits your account. The grind is the forge. The delay in gratification is the heat. By the time you reach day 1,000, you are unrecognizable. You have developed a monetary stoicism. You've seen the market crash, you've seen the setbacks, and you've stayed the course. This is the unfair advantage that only builds in silence. While others were chasing trends, you were building a foundation. Now let's look at the math of the second crore. Once the flywheel is spinning, the effort required to keep it moving is almost zero compared to the effort it took to start it. This is why you see billionaires seemingly get lucky over and over again. It's not luck, it's the momentum of the first 1,000 days carrying them forward. If you are on day 100 or day 500 and you feel like you are failing because your bank account is stagnant, look closer. Are you more skilled than you were last year? Is your network more valuable? Is your understanding of the game deeper? If the answer is yes, then the flywheel is turning. You just haven't felt the wind yet. The first Crore is a test of character, disguised as a financial goal. It is designed to be mathematically impossible for the impatient. It is designed to break the weak. So, the next time you feel like quitting because the progress is too slow, remember this. The most powerful force in the universe is compounding, but it has a strictly enforced entry fee. It costs exactly 1,000 days of your life. The question isn't whether the math works. The question is, can you survive the silence long enough to hear the roar?